Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Sisters Keeper podcast. I am Dr. C. I'm your host, and today we are talking about how to choose a major for college. This show is all about women supporting women and talking through the different issues that women may face, the challenges, and also the joys and the triumphs. So today I'm going to be speaking with Miss Audrey, and she's going to share her experience with choosing a college major. Welcome, Miss Audrey, to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm well. What about you?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here and to kick off this third season of the podcast. And I'm so happy that you accepted the invitation.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Such an honor.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're looking forward to hearing about your life as a college student. So please tell us what your experience has been so far being a college student, what year in college you're in, and what motivated you overall to attend college?
Well, this is my first year in college. It has been so great. I love school. I always have. And what brought me into choosing the path of going to college is my parents. My mom studied in Mexico and became a lawyer, but my dad didn't get a college experience. So I'm technically first generation, and I like the idea of expanding my knowledge.
Okay, very good. And so you said your parents were your motivation. So they were very instrumental in you making your decision to attend college.
Yes.
Now, since they have two different perspectives, your mother did go to college, but your father did not. Tell me individually, for your mother and your father, how did they influence you? How did they motivate you?
Well, my mom has always loved school. I see myself in her. She's a really big inspiration. Her father is a teacher and she grew up in poverty, there in Mexico, but hearing her story of her stepping up in the like ladder of education and becoming a lawyer is so inspiring.
Mhm.
Um, though I originally wanted to be a lawyer because my mom, but also because I watched Legally Blonde. But that's besides the point. I think hearing her story of how much she pushed through to be where she is right now, it's very inspiring. Though my dad didn't go to college, he he's having fun wherever he is right now. But I like the idea of following in my mother's footsteps.
Okay. All right. Very good. Now, tell me about how you chose your major and at what point in your life did that happen?
Well, I am currently a theater major. I have been doing theater since I was in fifth grade. I chose, I finalized my major towards during the summer. I was choosing a different career path originally, and then I finally got that support from my mom, which gave me the green light to do what I've always wanted to do, and is pursue theater in um, teaching aspect.
Oh, okay. So your current major is theater.
Yes.
Okay. Now you said your mother gave you the green light and the go ahead to choose that path.
Correct.
What path were you on before?
Originally, I was a Spanish major. I believe that being bilingual is such an important skill or thing to have in your pocket. And I like the idea of becoming a Spanish teacher since I have seen that some Spanish teachers aren't pushing their students to continue that path of like gaining that knowledge. And I wanted to be that change. Though that decision was heavily influenced by my family, after my mom realized how much I excel in theater arts, she gave me the go ahead to choose what I want.
Okay. So you said you chose the theater major over the summer. Now, is that summer between high school and college?
Yes, high school,
Okay.
college.
So that's when you made the shift So your family was behind you being a Spanish major. So how long was that your path before you changed over the summer?
That was my path since my towards the end of my sophomore year of high school. I
Okay.
was so committed to being a Spanish major because Spanish is my first language.
Okay.
And I was so committed, but in the back of my mind, I knew that I always wanted to do theater. But yeah.
Okay. So a couple things. You said Spanish is your first language,
Mhm.
but you also said you were choosing that major because of being bilingual, but you're already bilingual.
Yes.
Okay.
I, from peers around me, they think that being bilingual or isn't really something important, which I heavily disagree with. Especially here in Southern California, there's so
Yeah.
many people of so many different cultures,
Right.
and I think it's very important to be able to communicate with everyone.
Okay, very good. So you're already bilingual, but you're going to take a major not to become more bilingual because there's no such thing as that. But like you said, to assist others, not so much for yourself, but to assist others in achieving their dual language.
Yes.
Okay. All right, very good. So you already knew your love, but you were following what people were kind of leading you to do. But you finally decided to say, "Hey, mom, this is take us through that conversation."
Well, I my senior year of high school was the biggest year for me. I got to play three leading roles back to back, and it was just such an amazing experience. And
Okay.
my mom has always been very supportive of me in theater, and she would go to every show every night and invite a bunch of her friends. And the last production I did at my high school was Shrek the Musical, and I got
Mm.
the honor to play Fiona. And that was such a big moment in my life because the first show I watched was in first grade at that same high school, and it was Shrek the Musical.
Wow.
And my mom, from that day, we watched that play together. My mom knew that I had something in my veins that screamed theater.
Right.
But after she watched my performance as Fiona, she was taken aback about how passionate I am about it. And I also choreographed the show, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
But that summer, my mom told me, "Why are you majoring in Spanish?" And I told her, I thought you wanted me to major in Spanish. And she said, "But you don't put in the same effort as you do in Spanish as you do in theater. I think you should do what you are truly passionate about." And yes, I was in tears because that was such a big revelation in my life. But yeah,
That's
that was a
wonderful.
very
And that's
heartfelt
wonderful
conversation.
that you had her support to do it, you know? And it's good that it happened at the point that it did happen rather than after your first year of college, that other summer that came would
Mhm.
come a year later after you put in so much time. I mean, a year into it is not a bad time to change, but it's good if you know what you're doing before you start your college journey.
Yes.
So that's good. Okay, now from your experience, do many of your peers take their parents or a mentor suggestion on what they should major in or do they make their own choices? So do they take somebody's advice who's leading them, or do they kind of make their own choices, or maybe a combination?
I think it's a combination. I feel like other people are more rebellious than others in that way, but I think a lot of people in my age range really do lean on their parents because they truly want what's best for us. But others believe that they actually know what's best for them. So I think it's pretty split in half.
Okay, okay. And that's I can see that is split in half, but I know sometimes youngsters are unsure of themselves and they may trust someone who has more life experience when it comes to college majors. They don't care about life experience in other aspects of their life. They're like, "No, I got this."
Yeah.
But looking at a career, especially if that person is has been successful in his or her own career, then they'll say, okay, well, they made a good choice. They know what they're doing, so maybe they can help me. And then others may say, no, I know me and I know what I want to do, so I will figure this out along the way. And then you have some who are kind of in between. But it's really important that I find that parents listen to their children's voices to find out what they really want to do and if they have the skill set. Because
Yeah.
sometimes they may want to do something and not have the skill set. I had a young person tell me, well, I really want to sing. So my first question was, can you sing? Is that something you can actually do, or you just think it's glamorous to do, but you have to actually be able to do it? You can't just want to do it. You may be able to dance, put on the clothes, but what's going to come out of your mouth when you put that, when the microphone is there? So, and your mother saw that in you. So that's really awesome. And she saw that excitement and how you would come alive.
Yeah,
So that's really awesome.
thank you.
Um, do you find it common for most first and second year students to not have decided upon a major?
I don't find it common, but what I do find common is people switching their major once
Mm.
or twice during their college experience.
Yeah, I've heard that too, that people will go in with one mindset, start taking the classes that's going to possibly lead them to their major and find out, this is not working out so well for me. I really don't
Yeah.
like this subject so much, you know?
Yeah.
And then another thought that came to mind too is sometimes parents lead their children into maybe something that they're doing, their own field, and they want them to follow in their footsteps. Or they may lead them into something that's more lucrative than what their child has chosen. Like, no, you're not going to make any money there. Let's go over here.
Yeah.
But again, at the end of the day, you want to love what you do. You don't want it to be a chore or a challenge or just because you're making money. I've heard people after working a long career, 25, 30 years, at that point deciding, okay, I'm so done with this. I've made the money that I was promised to make, and now I want to do something I enjoy. But if you can find something that you enjoy that's going to pay you to do it and pay you something that you can live on, why not do that from the
Yeah.
beginning? Yeah. Okay, now let me ask you this question. What is your personal advice having gone through having one intended major and changing? Granted, you did it before you started college, but what would be your advice on how someone should choose a major? So if you're talking to your peers and they may be ambivalent about the next steps in their life, they're in college, they know they want to go, they're not really sure how they should choose a major, what would be your advice?
Like you said a couple seconds ago, go with something you will enjoy. It's not all about the money, money, money. It's not all about the money. It's about the experience in the long run. I think that's very important to take into account when choosing a major, something that you will be involved in the rest of your life, hopefully. Hopefully.
Yeah, if you can, right? And we know
If you
some
can, yes.
careers end sooner than that, but there's always a way to engage in that arena, if not directly, maybe indirectly. So absolutely. So, but what do you say to someone who says, "Well, I like this, but I don't really know if I can make a living at it." Then what will be your next piece of advice?
Ooh, that's a hard one. For me, as someone who's a theater major, theater is a very difficult path, which is why I like the education, the teaching aspect of it. I think
Hmm.
maybe get a teaching credential so you could help others possibly pursue what you wanted to pursue.
Oh, that's really good. And see, and that's what I mean by still being in that arena. You may not be on stage. So let's say in your case, you may be on stage. It could be a long, lucrative career. It could be sporadic, but at the same time, maybe once, if there's such a thing as your time passing, then you can still be involved by passing it on to someone else, showing somebody else the ropes. And that's really good. That's really good. That's
Yes.
something to look at, something to think about, because some people think about the longevity. For example, athletes, they say, well, I may only have 10 good years, 15 good years, however long their body can respond to what they need to do. But then after that, they don't necessarily walk away. They may go into coaching, they may go into mentorship. There's a lot of different things that you can do and still be in the atmosphere or be
Yes.
in the arena and still be helpful to someone else who's up and coming. So that's really good advice. Even though that was a hard question, you were able to pull that one off.
Thank you.
All right, very good. Now, do you believe that your current decision of shifting from Spanish to theater, you'll be able to stand strong until you earn your degree?
Definitely. I know I can. I am very passionate about the arts and the importance of having it in everyone's lives. And I know that I'll stay true to that belief.
That's good. And just from the time that we experienced together over the last semester, when you say that you're a theater major, I am not surprised. I am not surprised. And I may have come along other theater majors along the way, but I don't think I would have ever guessed that at all. But just the energy that you have and just the modulation of your voice that you do, yeah, it's awesome. So
Thank
I
you.
know that you're going to go far just because one, the enthusiasm, the drive is there, the motivation and the dedication that you have is certainly going to take you a long way.
Thank you so much for saying that. That's so nice.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Now, this is a really important question, and this question is really what the show is all about, women supporting women. Because there's a lot of things that we go through in life and the different roles that we play. So, my question to you is, who supports you in your decision and college career? Specifically, are there women in your life that support the journey that you have decided to embark upon?
Definitely my mom. She's my backbone. She has always got me covered. Even though we have ups and downs, I really appreciate her support and her just keeping me going.
That's good. And I know she's honored to be your mother and to see you embark upon your journey that's going to take you through the rest of your life. And you said something important, even though you may not have intended to, the ups and downs. Relationships have ups and downs. But despite it all, hopefully parents are always in their children's corners, seeing them through the tough times, the difficult times, the easygoing times, the times when they stumble, just like when you were learning to walk, your mother was there. When you fell down, she picked you up. So I pray and I hope that whatever stumbles you may come upon, that she will continue to be there. Other than your mom, who I would say is your number one cheerleader, other than your mom, who else surrounds you? Who else gives you that means of support?
I say my sister. Though she's younger than me, she acts like she's older than me, and I really appreciate that. She keeps me on my feet even if we're in a big disagreement. And she's always there for me, just like my mom. They're like my my twin flames.
Hmm. Okay, that's nice. And how much younger is she than you?
She's 2 years younger than me.
Okay, so not too far apart. That's good. That's good. And is she still in high school or is she in college yet?
She's still in high school. She's currently a junior.
A junior. Okay. All right, very good. Now, when you leave College of the Desert, where do you plan to transition to continue your bachelor's?
I plan to go to Cal State Fullerton. It's a school I've been eyeing my whole life.
Okay.
Um, it's great.
Do they have a good theater program there?
Yes, they do. It is skyrocket.
Okay, good. Good. So hopefully everything that you're going to do over the next couple of years will lead you on the path that you want to go on. And before we close out, Are there any final words that you want to share with our viewing audience today?
Do what you love. Do what you're going to love forever. I believe in you.
Awesome. And just like you have your mother for support, it's always good for every person to have at least one person that really believes in her, that can push her forward and know that whatever decision she makes in her life, whether they're good, bad, indifferent, there's always another opportunity to try. But unfortunately, some people don't have anyone to motivate them or to encourage them or to be their cheerleader. But just the words that you shared today, just a face on a video and your encouraging words can give them that momentum that they need. So it is my desire that once this video goes live, that many people will see it, many people will be encouraged, and that everyone who views it will share it with someone else that needs that motivation because a lot of things that you said were very powerful and it can help a young person and even a middle-aged person or an older person to get up and go and believe in themselves because sometimes we don't have a cheering squad, but it really starts right inside here. It starts inside here, how we see ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, and how we can take ourselves to the next level. So thank you so much for sharing with us. Thank you so much for sharing the beginning of your journey with us. And maybe as some time goes past and you kind of start seeing that light at the end of the tunnel, we can have you back and you can share what's going on in your life and how you made your dream come true. Because I'm really looking forward to that.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. You take care, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Likewise, have a good one.
Thank you. You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Well, everyone, thank you for joining me for another episode of Sisters Keeper podcast. We talked about choosing a college major, and sometimes when you begin your journey, you don't always know where you're going to end up or if your first choice will be your final choice. But my advice to you is do what you love, do what encourages you, do what motivates you. And when you find that motivation, don't forget to motivate someone else in his or her journey. I pray that you would join me for the next episode of Sister Keepers podcast. And I look forward to seeing you right here. God bless you. Take care.